Our next topic is the Salt March and the Civil Disobedience Movement. Gandhiji tried to find out a way so that he can relate the abstract idea of Swaraj in a concrete form, which can be related with the day-to-day life. On 31st January 1930, he sent a letter to Viceroy Irwin stating 11 demands of different classes from industrialists to the peasants for a united campaign. The most important demand was to abolish the salt tax as it was consumed by all the sections of the society and a powerful symbol to unite the nation. Now the question is this, that why did Gandhiji do so? Answer to this question is, the British government imposed tax on the salt, and the British government also took the monopoly of the production of the salt to themselves. So Gandhiji decided the salt as a powerful symbol which could unite the entire nation. Gandhiji also stated that the most oppressive phase of British rule was tax on salt and the government monopoly over its production. So he decided that if the demand were not fulfilled, Gandhiji declared civil disobedience campaign. And for that he had decided the date of 11th March of the same year 1930. Irwin was unwilling to negotiate with the Gandhiji's demand. So Gandhiji started his most famous Salt March. In March 1930, he accompanied by 78 of his most trusted volunteers. The march was over 240 miles from Gandhiji's Sabarmati Ashram to Gujarat coastal town Dandi. Gandhiji covered this distance with his volunteer within 24 days. Every day they covered the distance of about 10 miles. The total distance from Sabarmati to Dandi was about 240 miles. On his way, Gandhiji met with several people and he told them the meaning of Swaraj and insisted the people to peacefully defy the British. Finally, on 6th April 1930, Gandhiji along with his followers reached Dandi. There, he violated the salt law by manufacturing salt by boiling sea water. This incident marked as the beginning of the civil disobedience movement. As the movement continued, thousands in different parts of the country broke the salt law. They manufactured salt and did demonstration in front of the government salt factories. As the movement spread out, foreign cloth was boycotted and the liquor shops were picketed. Peasants also refused to pay revenue and the other taxes in the villages. Village officials resigned, and at many places the tribal people violated forest laws. As after the classification of the forest in the protected and reserve forests, there was no entry of the tribal people. They cannot collect the fuel wood and they were not allowed to let their cattle graze over these areas. So they broke all the laws and became violent. The movement spread out on its violent form. At many places, there were clashes. When Abdul Ghaffar Khan, a great devotee, disciple of Mahatma Gandhi, was arrested in April 1930, the angry crowd demonstrated in the streets of Peshawar. In this demonstration, police fired and many people were killed. After a month later, Mahatma Gandhi himself was arrested. The industrial workers in Sholapur attacked police stations, municipal buildings, law courts, railway station and all the structures that was constructed and used by the British government. The government was much worried on the response of the public. So, they used the brutal repression. Peaceful satyagrahis were attacked. Women and children were beaten. About 1 lakh of the people were arrested. This all hurt Gandhiji very badly. Finally, Gandhiji decided to call off the movement and he entered into a pact with Lord Irwin on 5th March 1931. By this pact, which was known as Gandhi-Irwin Pact, Gandhiji advised to participate in a round table conference that was held in London, and the government agreed to release the political prisoners. Gandhiji went to London in December 1931 to attend the first round table conference. He placed the demand, but unfortunately all his demands were rejected. Gandhiji became very disappointed and returned back to India. This was considered as the great failure of Round Table Conference. When Gandhiji came back to India, he found that the government policies were more harsh and humiliating. All the situations were totally changed. Ghaffar Khan and Jawaharlal Nehru were both in jail. The Congress had been declared illegal and a series of measures have been imposed to prevent the meetings, demonstrations and boycotts conducted by various groups along with Congress in the country. Finally, Gandhiji decided to relaunch the civil disobedience movement. Over a year, it was continued, but by 1934, it lost its importance as the people were not enthusiastic for that.